Yeah.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ref Room. I am Scott Smokin Silz, along with our referee in chief and my good friend Brad Baumruck. Man, that little goatee is looking a little reddish. Did you add a little flavor to that thing or what?
No. We
No?
can call my mother, just like my kids made me do. It's a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
They didn't believe me that this was my hair color when I was born. I can't help it that my goatee is this color.
Yeah.
I've somehow lost you behind several screens, and I can't get rid of it. There we go. Now I can see you again. Actually, I liked it the
Just
other
to be
way.
that easy to get rid of me. There you go.
I liked it the other way, so I think I might go back. But anyways, no, yeah. I had to have a little conversation with my mom about that, because my kids didn't believe me. So, I don't know. It's not like I'm leaving the house.
Yeah.
So...
Well, anyway, I can't believe it. I guess we can actually say, like, our season's over. Not really.
Yes.
We still have like
Right.
1 week. There's still a couple games. Couple
there's-
games left, but it's pretty much over. The tournaments are pretty much done. Like everything, it's time to take a break, everybody. I don't know. I'm thinking about taking July off, maybe a month off to chill out and play a little golf and all that good stuff. Do what the Toronto Maple Leafs do. Go play golf early.
Yeah, I was going to say they start early, though, always, every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. They hired Berube, so,
I know, I did see that.
yeah,
Man,
I mean,
they'll be jumping up and down going, Stanley Cup next week, so I can't wait.
yeah.
So,
Well, it looks like they might also be keeping the core because it looks like they're going to keep Marner. They're talking about an extension for him. I don't know if it's going to be the 8 years he wants, but they're talking about an extension. And then, I don't know who. We got the draft coming up. I forget when that happens, but Hawks get a second round, or not a second round, but a number 2 draft pick this time. I guess there's a Russian player that they're after that's playing in the KHL. Do you know anything about this guy? Because I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a picture of him or anything.
honestly, I do not know
Yeah,
anything about anybody that's moving up. Nothing. I haven't
Yep.
had time to look at it. I'm too busy with our local stuff.
Yeah, I know. Are
So-
you pretty much winding down now? Are you guys wrapping up, or are you already getting ready for seminars?
Next season, baby. Seminars.
Well, I know that.
Next
I know that.
season.
We got new board of directors. We had the meeting last week. That's why we didn't have a show. So we have. You want to announce who the new members are? Did we get anybody new, or did we just keep everybody that was there for the most part?
We had one depart from our board, Stephen Rickert. Everybody
Yeah.
else retained a position.
Steve's a good friend of the show. He's been on here several times, so appreciate all he's done.
And I spoke with him afterwards. He's still excited to keep doing what he does with us, so he's not going anywhere. He's always open to a phone call if somebody needs something. So if you know him personally and want to thank him, you definitely can. But yeah, we had one board member exit, as we are going to be reducing our board by one position over the next 3 years.
There you go.
Move us down to a more corporate structure, and then possibly entertain the idea of doing that again the next 3 years after these first 3. But we want to make sure that there's enough workload to go around, and that it's not going to get too much for the board that we have.
Right.
So,
Well, you guys, I mean, there is a lot to do, but I mean, you guys stay busy. I know you stay busy. I think the others
I'm busy.
pretty much stay
there's
busy.
A lot of people that are busy. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are busy. The board had 15 when, we used to do quite a few seminars at local places. You had to make phone calls for everything. There wasn't email. Everything had to be mailed. Like a contract for ice back in the day had to be mailed to you. They didn't email it to you. You had to get it mailed to you. You had to sign it. You had to put the check in there, mail it back.
Well,
all these things.
Well, yeah,
take time.
it's life has changed for everybody. There's a lot of things that are just really quick and they really don't cost anything to do anymore because it's all, modern technology. So, I mean, that's
but it does also make more work because we track more data now because we have the capabilities. So
you certainly
people
have
are
the
starting to
ability.
look at that instead. So we don't know exactly what the outcome will be, but after these 3 years, we'll be able to make an assessment and keep moving forward. And the NHL draft is June 28th and 29th.
June 20th. See, you're a man of Google. There you go. Appreciate that.
That's a Friday, Saturday. I know that for a fact because my wife's birthday is the 28th, and she's mad because I'm going to be in St. Louis for the district referee and chief meeting on the 28th.
See, always something. Speaking of which, at the meetings, you guys got a lot of rule change proposals, like 300 pages worth. I know we touched on this. Yeah, we touched on this a little bit. Now, how much of that will be discussed at the meeting you're going to before you go to the big hockey congress, or is there something that you're going back to? When do you guys actually vote on these rules?
I don't have a vote. The affiliates vote. So, but the votes.
So who is the? Who is the affiliate? Who's the affiliate vote? Is the question. Who gets that vote?
So the presidents of the affiliates get the votes, and then the coaching section has a certain amount of votes. The players' committees have a certain amount of votes. I don't know exactly how it's broken down, but it is broken down by membership. So, like, the Central District is actually the largest membership in USA Hockey. That includes all players, all coaches, and all officials. We do actually have the most, so we do actually have the most votes. I just don't know exactly how that all calculates into everything.
We have the most votes, and yet we voted to have the rule that we all hate in place, and that is tag up offsides and can't ice the puck on the penalty kill. Did we have anything to do with that?
Not our state.
No. Not our state. Okay. All right.
Not our
anyway.
States.
Yeah, I got you. Anyway, let's cover a few of these rules that we're looking at that are proposed, and that is one that is proposed for change. But now let me just specify the rule changes, even though they're ahead of the game this year and they're working further out in advance than they have in the past. These rule changes,
correct.
We still have another year left on the current rules, right? One more year, or so we won't.
Current rules, but they're so, like, number one, I can definitely tell you 100% is going to be a rule. It's going to be in effect August 1st. Neck lacerations. Now let's touch on that neck laceration protection. So the one thing is referees have to wear it if they are under the age of 18. So my birthday is the 1st of June. So let's say I was going to turn 18 June 1st. I'm good. Okay. If I was going to turn 18, yeah, I know. Let's laugh it up.
Yeah.
June 1st of next year. After June 1st of next year, I would be able to remove my neck laceration protection.
Put that up on eBay.
That doesn't work the same for the players. Any players in the youth classification, so it's not done by their birth year or their age, it's done by age classification. Yeah. So any player that plays in the youth classification, which is the co-ed classification, men's and women's, they can both play in that level. They have to wear a neck laceration, okay? Any classification in the women's have to wear a neck laceration. And also remember, women are allowed to play until they're 19. Because the women do get an extra year. So
and why is that?
Caveat
Can you explain that to me? Why do they get an extra year? Because it is U19 versus U18.
So what's been explained to me, because I have asked, is that in a lot of areas outside of the amateur level of hockey, a lot of women don't have the place to play afterwards. Like, men have a different alternative route. They can go play ACHA. I mean, women can too, but they also can go play, like, they could go play for a junior team in their area or something like that. So they allow the women an extra year to still participate in hockey, to keep their interest in and see if they maybe find another opportunity to where they could pick up on, say, like a college scholarship or something like that in a D3 school or a D2 school or excuse me, D3 or D1 school.
Right.
So, like, they're allowed that extra year in order to have that. And then the women are allowed to play a year older than the boys in the youth classification. And the thought process is because as the males get older, the males get bigger and a lot stronger than the females. So they try to alter that up. Now, the reality of it, when young ladies, they're always ahead of the boys, especially in the maturity level. But also they do get typically taller and all that stuff before the boys do. But it's to more even it out later when they be at a much bigger disadvantage. A woman playing, a 16-year-old woman is not nearly the size as a 16-year-old male is.
Yeah,
so they try to do that. And also, again, it's to give them another year to play if they're going to play in the youth classification. There isn't any
You froze
women's
up. You froze
classifications
up
in
there.
their
Say
area.
that one more time,
So
because
it
you
gives
just
them one
froze
more
up.
reason to play. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it also gives them that extra year in the youth classification if they don't have any women's classification in their area,
Right.
in order to play. So that's what's been explained to me. Now, I could be totally wrong, and somebody could be feeding me a line. But generally, they want to keep the women playing and participating longer than the men because they have less avenues at this point.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that we don't see. I know there is a very small women's league, but the women's league that's out there, I think, is a little more mature. It's not like the young ladies that have just graduated college and come back that are in their 20s, 25 years of age, let's say, up to 30. It seems like they're more, I'll call it housewives age or whatever. But I think it'd be very interesting to see a youth league, or not a youth league, but an adult league, like a beer league for the women. That's, like out of college, like a high level. I know when I was playing down at Johnny's on one of my C teams, I had three girls playing on my team there. And they were all awesome. Two of them played at Cornell, one played at Harvard. One of my other teams had a girl that played on the U.S. Olympic team, Rush Zimmer. There were some good players, and there's a lot of them around now. Look at all the youth hockey we have for females, and you would think that would grow into some sort of a beer league at some point for the ladies. Kind of surprised we haven't seen that yet, at least with 4 or 6 teams.
Yeah, I don't know if there's just not a niche for it yet. Like somebody would have to start the league. That'd be number one. There is a big following when they have the puck cancer hockey tournament, and then also the autism tournament. There's always women's division. There's a lot of teams in those.
Yep.
But a lot of those teams travel in, though, too,
right,
for those type of things. So it could be just that they don't have enough players in the area. It could be maybe women aren't interested in being out at 10:30 at night playing beer league hockey. I have a buddy. He plays in like Sunday morning league, and they have lots of women in that league. But it's like the games are done by like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be something that could be doing that. Not to put a lot of things down, but women, eventually if they do get married early and stuff like that, they end up being the general caregiver, and that kind of thing goes to the wayside for some of them that I've seen and heard, and then they come back. And there's a lot of women that I've seen that have stopped playing, and then they come back later and they're playing on a men's league team. It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in 10 years. Oh, I had a kid. Now they're 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even some of the other area leagues that have men's league, you do see a few of the females playing in there. There's not a lot, but they're usually ex-college players, ex-AAA players that are playing with the guys, and they're good players. They should be playing. I'd like to see them have their own league someday. I think that'd be very cool. We got somebody checking in here. George says hello, watching from the Quad Cities, by the way. All right, appreciate that. And he has a question. He says, Brad, what is Iowa going to do to help train these non-tested referees starting next season? So that's a good question, George, because we have touched on this with next year being a season that's not going to have training. And to explain that, I'm going to let Brad explain it, but my understanding is they're redoing all the infrastructure for, their online internet stuff. I guess, I don't know if it's a whole new website or whatever, but obviously it's pretty detailed and everything is tied together. If it's anything like ours, it's very tied together. So why don't you explain that and tell us a little bit about what's going to happen?
So in reality, the level 1 seminar is basically the same seminar. They're still going to have modules just like they have. They're just built into the seminar. That's been going on now for 5, 6, 7 years maybe, to where the modules have been built in. They didn't have to take any modules. The only difference is they're not going to take a rules test. And, unfortunately, it sounds like there may not be ice, but that's still up for debate in the areas. And, our committee hasn't gotten that far yet with the information that we have. So Once we get there, we can start doing that. But last season, we did do supplemental seminars that were posted on IHOA.com that were there for our membership. I think we had like 50 people attend out of the 4 we did. It might have been more. Don't quote me on it because it's already been a year. But those have been posted all year, so the officials can definitely find the knowledge, and definitely they should be reading the rule book anyways. An open book test really doesn't prove a lot of your rule knowledge. It just forces you to go read something.
I think, we've talked about this a little bit on the shows. I think this year, probably more so than ever, if we're not going to have a rules test, and with level ones, I really feel they need to be on the ice. You can't show up at your first game and think you're going to be able to drop a puck, because we prove that to everybody every year. Because my favorite question to ask is, how many of you think it's really easy to drop the puck, that you can do it with no problem? And everybody's hand goes up. And then when they come out there and that puck goes down, it's like, oh, wow.
Well, I get it. Now one thing I would like to say, though, is that people do have a short memory. This was already done. It was done during COVID. They had seminars with no ice for 2 years. So it was already done.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that, I guess.
It's only been 2 years. How did everybody forget about it?
Yeah.
But it's already been done. That's one thing. And,
But how many referees signed up, or officials signed up during COVID to come in, versus what we've got to have double signing up now, what we had during the COVID period, I'm guessing. Yes or no?
Yeah, so I think our COVID season, we had like 200 and something level ones
versus 600 or 700 now, probably.
Yeah, we had 626, I think, last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it is a different amount, but there are a lot of officials too that they take a seminar and they never even referee a game, and that's about half of them.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I signed up and paid my money many, many, many years ago. That book came in the mail and the test came in the mail, and I looked at that. I read one question. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing this.
Well, I can tell you.
Because I didn't have a mentor. Nobody was going to walk me through like what to do. That's how I ended up getting it, because one of the guys I played hockey with pushed me. He's like, no, it's not that difficult. I'll help you get through this thing. You do it in a timely fashion and it'll be easy. And he's right. Well, it was absolutely easy.
Well, Scott, the one thing that I can tell you is I do know for a fact when the rules used to change every 2 years, they give out the rule book or whatever, but the officials could get it before anybody could buy it. So we'd have people that would sign up for the seminar so that they could get the new rule book.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. For those that want to know, I mean, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if you're a player or a coach, if you understand the rules, just like in golf, if you understand the rules, you can get certain advantages that you wouldn't if you don't know the rules. That's the facts of things. Knowing the rules, I don't care what business you're in, if you know the rules, there's ways to be ahead of the curve. So that's a good point. So there's a reason for more people to sign up right there. It's free plug for it.
That used to be a thing. It doesn't seem to be a thing anymore now that they changed it. But I know that used to be a big thing back in the day. You could get it, but now USA also releases it as a PDF early, so people don't need to take it for that reason anymore. So, you just cut your numbers.
I had 20 people ready to go for you. You didn't get them, see?
But the supplemental seminars were really good. We had a couple members from IHOA do it. Those were really good. And then the big thing is our mentoring program did almost 100 games last year.
I think it was over, wasn't it?
I thought it could have been, because he was still putting people in as spring was starting and the number bounces around. So that's 100 referees that got to skate with somebody that should have learned something. Now, the one thing I'll always say, too, when I started, hey, I took my open book test. Good luck. Have a nice day. We'll see you
No,
later.
no different for me. I never got a mentor. I never even knew there was a mentor thing. I signed up took the test, went to the seminar, and off I went to men's league and some mite games or squirt games probably. I mean, I started late in the season. So I took your last seminar that you guys offered, which I think was offered in like December at the time. And I got my crest in January. And I started working games and, just contacted a couple of the assigners, started getting a lot of games, but I was getting them from those assigners and never had a clue as to the mentor program or anything else. So I didn't even get looked at until the following year. Somebody finally came out and evaluated me the following year.
You went to a seminar in person, right?
Yes. Yeah. Leaf Center.
Remember the stack of papers that they gave you at the beginning of the seminar?
Can't say I do.
Well, there was one. I guarantee it, and there was a mentor flyer in there.
Oh, it probably was.
I'm sure there was, because I remember sitting around putting those packets together to be put out for every seminar. So trust me, that's been going on for how long Carl's been doing. I was doing it 15 years. 15 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, and there was always one for that, the ADP, and then also evaluation if you wanted to request an evaluation, but those were put into the 2, 3, 4 seminars.
Yeah.
Because typically level 1's to be evaluated, it's a good thing if you get a chance, but it's better after your first year. You've gotten into it. You kind of learn some things, and now you may have some bad habits, and you may have some good ones that need to be built upon.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and unfortunately, it's just the nature of the game. It's the best online, or not best online. It's the best on-the-job training you're ever going to have. That's just a reality of it. You're going to go out there and that's it. Baseball, they go out there and that's it. Like, they don't even have a mentoring program.
Wow.
Right? So, other sports are looking at USA Hockey going, how do you guys retain so many people? So think about that, and we all complain about it.
Well, what we do is kind of a specialized skill, okay? Because you got to be able to skate. If you can't skate, you can't even consider coming out and doing the job. I don't care if it's mites or squirts, house league, whatever. You still have to be able to skate. So chances are you've probably played hockey or at least you know how to skate before you're willing to come in and give that a try. We have referees that come out that have never played the game.
And they're really good.
I wouldn't pretend to go become a football referee. Never played the sport. I mean, fooled around, threw the ball and all that stuff, but I never played organized football, so I wouldn't pretend I should go out and officiate that sort of thing. It's just me.
Look good in a white hat and white shorts.
I got white shorts from tennis.
Not those kind of shorts.
The 70s short shorts. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God. My dad played tennis, so I know exactly what shorts you're talking about.
Well,
So
they used to be fashionable, man. It was fashionable, even if you didn't play tennis back in the day, to wear that sort of thing. That was like, GQ look.
You still got a members-only jacket?
I don't. I wish I did, because I had one that was given to me by Miller Beer for a sponsorship deal that they did with us back in the day. And then they gave us a members-only jacket with Michael Jackson stuff on the back. It was actually pretty cool. But it was a members only, so I wasn't hanging on to it, okay? Now it's probably worth a lot of money because it's members only.
Yeah, it's more than
crazy.
Yeah, so that's just the thing. I think, everybody's going to work the best they can, and unfortunately, referees have to go out there and, learn like all of us. We've all made mistakes. Things happen.
Yeah.
You go look it up afterwards after a conversation. It isn't official. If you're not willing to do that and self-evaluate, you're dead.
Yeah. You're always going to be learning. And, the conversations and looking up stuff, because you can literally go 10 years and not have a situation. And then all of a sudden you have that situation and you're like, oh, man, we covered that like 5 years ago. I'm not sure if I twisted this or I got it right, but you go back and look it up. But once something happens to you, and it will happen to you, you'll remember it. You will remember it. It's a good learning experience. But
you're hoping that somebody on the ice with you knows the answer. You know, I like to go back to where I told you a couple years, I think maybe 2 years ago when we were doing it, and we had just come out of COVID. There was actually like organized hockey again,
Yeah.
and somebody had a kick shot in a youth game, and the kid put it on his stick, and he punted the thing back of his stick and kicked it right. I hit the whistle, and I turned to my partner, who's a 30-plus year referee at that time, maybe 40. And I hit the whistle, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "That's a kick shot." And he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Uh-oh." He goes, "I don't know if that's an NCAA rule or a USA rule." I go, "I don't care what it is." I go, "I know it's dangerous, so we're not going to let it happen anymore." I go, "You know, we can look it up afterwards." I go, "I don't think it's a penalty." I go, "But we're going to tell them this can't be done anymore." Like, and the reason is it comes off at an unpredictable angle and an unpredictable speed with more force than you can make swinging your arms. So, you know, like I hit it, and you know what? I found too, you know, if you err on the side of common sense and safety, guess what? Nobody's really going to be that mad about it. If you have to say later, "Hey, yeah, I screwed that up," they're going to be like, "Hey, but it was for the safety." People get that. Now, if you're just blatantly out there, you know,
Well,
not
now you opened up a can here, because you know I'm going to have to ask you about this, because it has to be propelled with the stick. So that's the stick, but not being propelled. Not being propelled by the stick.
Correct. It's not. Yeah, it's being propelled by your foot.
Right. See.
It's just like if you catch it and you throw it downwards and it hits off your stick, it's being propelled by your hand, not the stick.
Right.
But yet it went off your stick. So, but no, that's you know, it's not a USA rule, but it is a college rule.
Yeah.
So, but we stopped playing. My partner was like, "What are you doing?" He came right up to me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "A guy just kick shotted it." And he's like, "Oh yeah," like, and I'm telling you, very seasoned referee that's been around forever, been in various positions, and even me and him were both like, "We're not going to do that today." That's just kind of how we ended it, and then we went and looked it up afterwards, and we told the coach anyways, you know, "Hey, you know, you just can't do that," you know, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, but I can tell you this: if you do tell a coach that you're going to go look something up and you're going to see him next week, you better look it up.
Because
he's going to ask.
He probably did.
No, he probably didn't, but he's going to ask you about it, and you better have an answer. If you said you're going to go do it, just go do it. It takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so you want to talk about a couple of proposed rules?
Sure.
Anything you want to cover that have a lot of people's interest? I don't know.
Well, the big thing was the neck lacerations that we already covered. You know, and there's a lot of people, you know, getting to the bottom of that. I know that we're going to have more information here probably next month. Well, in a couple weeks, to be honest with you. Once we get back to the meetings, I'm sure that's going to be another hot topic on it. You know, I know that there's a lot of guys out there that have been buying the ones with the neck and then also the arm protection, because either the Southern Professional or the East Coast League had a guy get cut when a guy was making a line change, nicked him in the back of the arm when his arm was backwards, so on the inside. So I know a lot of guys are starting to buy it. You know, I don't have any recommendation, and I'm not in any position to make that recommendation. I think online reviews are great. I think the testing scales that they have, if you can't find something that's on one of those scales, guess what? It probably doesn't belong there. And, you know, use your most educated knowledge. I mean, we all have millions of outlets nowadays in order to be educated on what we shouldn't buy. I think that's the best way to go.
Fair enough. I'm sure. Well, when were we actually going to start seeing these in mass quantities coming into the stores? Because let's be honest, there's, you know,
no idea.
You still have the guys wearing the neck guard, you know, it looks like the headband that goes around your neck. We actually see a few people wearing those because, you know why? Because we see them laying on the ice while play is going on. So we know that a few people have them on. That's not going to be the way it's going to be moving forward, obviously. But
no, I think most of them are going to be built in. I mean, I would think everybody's going to buy built in or the collar, which, you know, I would call the Reverend collar. Where they put it underneath their shirt, and I'm not trying to, you know, give religion.
Known as a dickie, it's called a dickie, like the formal.
Thank you.
Technical term is a dickie. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I was looking for the word, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So I gave it the next best thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like a clip-on tie. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I would think a lot of people, I would think they're going to have it, when they had the meeting in January. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, we'll get there when we get there. That's the only thing I could say. I don't know what'll happen if they're not available. I mean,
well,
I'm sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding from one of the guys that owns a pro shop is that most of the stuff, like, if you ordered new skates for next season, the new models will be coming out. They all start to ship at the end of June. So it's like a July starts the new season of equipment. So everybody has their new merchandise in the pro shops like in the first week or two of July, I believe. That's when like everything starts filtering in. So I would venture to say by the first week or two of July, we will start to see all the cut-proof shirts that are going to be available, or the majority of them. I'm sure there will be a large quantity coming in since everybody's going to have to wear them. I mean, how many players do we have in Illinois in the youth category? Yeah, a lot. It's a lot of shirts, man. I'd like to be in that business taking a 50% markup on it, okay?
All right, well, so I already booked the Winnebago for next month.
Okay.
Do you have your passport, Scott? We're going to Canada. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay.
Just take the Winnebago up there, come back filled with
shirts,
protection.
We got laceration. We're selling them out of the parking lot, folks. You can get it at the on ramp at the expressway.
I-94 in the Illinois border.
Yeah, exactly.
Get into the state without having a problem.
That's right. That's where they'll be available.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the big one. I believe on there they did approve, if you take a look on that PDF, Scott.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Unfortunately, it's a little fuzzy for me, so make sure you're looking in the youth rules, by the way.
Oh, man, I was just scrolling down. There's like 300 and some pages here, so
297.
I don't even know where I'm looking, to be honest with you, okay? So there's a lot of housekeeping, a lot of verbiage changes, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think the big thing was I think they did propose the tag up offsides again. I believe that did make it out. I think the committee did put it out for approval, if I remember correctly. Yeah. There's some other changes in there. It's not crazy severe or anything that I saw that's going to affect us too horribly. My kid.
I think overall our rules are good. We've got good rules. There's not a lot that needs to be changed. Like you sit there and go, oh my gosh, that should be changed. The only thing that should be changed is the offside. The tag up offsides needs to change, and you can't ice the puck on the penalty kill.
Can you scroll through there and take a look too? I think errored offsides. I think that made it out. Or not errored offsides, errored icing.
Errored icing. I believe you said in the past that was changing and going to go to center ice. That's the proposed change that is supposed to be approved. I don't know. I mean,
been voted on. They just made it out of the committee.
I always thought it should just go to the neutral zone. Like, just come back outside the blue line. Take it out of the zone. Doesn't have to go to center ice. Just take it out of the zone. I would be good with that.
The special spot.
Yeah, the special spot.
That's what it used to be named.
I didn't know that.
The first
it's special.
Outside of the zone, it used to be called the special spot. So, like, you would pull it outside. I mean, okay, I'll be the one to say it, okay? There is no...
You broke... Every time you have to say something, you freeze. Like, you froze up completely. You're completely frozen right now. So, I don't know if you can hear me. Start over, because you froze up completely. And he's still frozen. I'm looking at him. He's frozen, okay? I don't know if this is by design, because it's controversial that he's going to freeze up, but he's frozen. So, all right, you want to try that one more time, Brad? You might even have to dial back in. Yep, he's got to dial back in. All right, bear with me a second here. We're going to put him back into the queue here. Are you back there, Brad? Now you got no audio. Can't hear you. He froze. All right. We'll let him dial back in here and see what happens, but he froze up. He'll call right back in. There we go. Okay, there you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Now say whatever you were going to say, because every time you have controversy, you freeze up completely. So don't do that to us.
Yeah, it's because I got the best switchboard operator over there on the other side screwing us all up. Thanks, Scott. So it's just one of those things. There is no good answer. Okay, the officials made a mistake. Unfortunately, they got involved in the game on accident. Is it fair to bring it to center ice? Yes. Should it be all the way down the ice? Going back that way, should they have gained any ice? I mean, should it stay down in that ice where it is now because they legally gained that ice? There's all kinds of variables in there. Somebody's going to get hosed. It's just unfortunately where are we going to have it in the nature of the game and what's the most competitive and what's thought to be the best place to have it. And I don't think we're ever going to have a solution that everybody's going to like.
Well, I don't know. As I've lived with that rule for so many years now, I've grown used to it and I get it. And it's like, we're just redropping the puck. That's all we're doing at that point. We stopped play there. The play was there. So all we're doing is picking up the puck and putting it back down again. It's not affecting anybody. The only time, and I've stated on the show, it happened to me once in a playoff game, and it meant that I couldn't get the goalie out of the net because now we had the face-off in our zone. Had it been in the neutral zone or out at center ice, might have been able to pop a goalie out of there in a playoff game and in that situation where you needed as much time as you could get. But I think for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with the rule the way it is. As much as everybody's always wanted to go back to center ice, I think we're just all used to it. And you know what's going to happen? Coach is going to be like, see, I told you last year that should have been out at center ice, and now you're taking it out there.
Well, so the one thing I'll say to you, though, Scott, with I couldn't get my goalie out thing, right? Well, guess what? If
shouldn't have been down.
Right, the puck... Hang on. The puck still would have been in your zone, and you'd still have to march it out of your zone for your goalie to leave.
Yeah. So, I can't remember if we had the goalie. We might have had the goalie out, but it was screwed up, so we ended up with the goalie having to come back in. I don't remember. It was many years ago. It was after that rule had first been initiated, I think.
Still, if you think about it, though, you'd still have to march it back down that ice because it would have been the correct call then. So the only thing is that it's a stoppage. Now, the one thing that I agree with changing it back, nobody in hockey does it other than us.
Right.
The IIHF got rid of it. The NCAA doesn't use it. Pro hockey doesn't use it. Junior hockey doesn't use it.
So they just go back to center ice.
Hockey using it.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would be the only argument that I have. I'm more about trying to align with as many rule books as we can. The upper levels, we can't align with all the rules, right? Can't have fighting, guys beating the crap out of each other, right? Like, we can't have that stuff happening like in the NHL. Now, here you are, yeah, we can. But, it's just one of those things. Like, we have to try to conform somewhat, but yet I get where they want to tweak the rules and do this and that to try and make our players better. I understand all that, but
and listen, I'm not going to argue with that. I think at a tier 1 game, you probably see a few offsides during the game, and it's like, because if we had the delay, the puck bounces off the wall and it goes at a weird angle.
Now.
Yeah, offsides, and it just comes in at a weird angle, and you get a stoppage for everybody. Looks like, why are we stopping play? This makes zero sense. The tier 1 players can do that. They're that good. The tier 2 players are pretty good at it. You don't get a lot of offsides from them. You get more probably at the lower levels of high school and, of course, house league. Oh, my gosh. That's painful.
Tier 3 hockey.
Yeah.
Tier 3. Call it what it is.
It's painful.
It's tier 3 hockey.
Yeah, tier 3 is painful.
There's a rink that's in the Chicagoland area, and I don't know who designed it, but somebody, I don't know if they weren't thinking or it just happens to be coincidence. It's the only rink that I've really ever seen that's like this. But outside of, I forget which zone it is, one of the zones, the glass is like, the stanchion's like this far over the blue line, and you'll see it every once in a while, and the guys will try and chip it out, and it'll hit the stanchion and
you froze.
fly back into the zone. You need to get whatever you got going with the 1080 camera to stop. That's the problem.
Okay, well, everything's 1080, my friend. Nothing I could do about it. But anyway, yeah, I'm not sure which rink that would be. I think I saw something like that at Oak Lawn. I think they might have a stanchion because they've got the penalty box on the opposite side.
Theirs is further out though. No,
yeah, I think it is further out, but
I want to say, where did it happen to me? That's what's bad about it.
Is it over the blue line and it comes back in the zone, or is it stay in the zone because it hits the stanchion and comes back in?
No, it's over like 4 inches. And and I've seen it more than once. I'm trying to think about where it has. It's like a AAA team too. I know it's a AAA rink that it happens at, and it hits that damn stanchion and it flies back in, and you're like, great. Now we have to stop playing. There's nobody around this person. They pick it right back up, and it's like they could have marched it the 10 feet out.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that one I want to change, but again, out of my hands. I only support the rules and enforce them. I don't write them. I can put in for stuff. I'm trying to help with other stuff. Yeah. So, but right now, we just got to play with what we got.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, as we start to wind our season down here, we come on every other week at this point in time until we get back into the real season, which is really like September. So this is going to be kind of a short show today, and we're going to wrap things up. Who do you like for Game 7 tonight?
Who's playing? I don't even know. Is that the Edmonton-Calgary
Edmonton
game?
and Canucks.
Calgary. Well, yeah,
no, Canucks. Not Vancouver.
Vancouver.
The other Calgary.
The other Calgary. That's funny that we both thought that. No, I would like to see Edmonton get through.
Yeah, me too.
That's just me.
Me too.
Vancouver's been there quite a few times trying to get through. We haven't seen Edmonton get through. They've got a lot of guys on there that are good players. I think they have my support. I mean, to be honest with you, I want to see a Canadian team get to the Stanley Cup, but the two that are remaining are now playing each other, so that doesn't really help their odds.
Yeah.
So, but then they'll see who's going to square off against Dallas, right?
Yeah. Dallas got through.
Yeah,
they won it. They won it twice the other night, apparently.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I saw the goal.
I didn't get. I was listening on the radio coming back from hockey, so I heard it.
Well, the offenseman bumps the goalie with his foot and with the back of his foot, and everybody's overlooking that. But then the D man shoves him into it. That's what really makes it look horrible. But let me tell you something: if the D man never touched that guy, they would have reviewed it, and it would have been no goal. Because he was in the way of the goaltender playing his position.
All right, there you have it. Coming from a referee. See, now you get the real view from somebody that's non-partial, that can look at that honestly and say, yeah, it's no goal. You can only get that here.
The way that, and you know what? That rule, there's kind of the interpretation. It's either the privilege of the goaltender playing his position or the player trying to score. And in that situation, the player's not trying to score. So it's all the goaltender's privilege at that point to be able to protect the net.
Yep.
And it really comes down to being kind of that simple, to be honest with you. And they've overturned hundreds of them this year. They're not going to stop now in the playoffs. Sorry that it's Game 6 in overtime. Guess what? You still ended up winning anyways. The right team came out. And, Dallas can't complain. They scored their goal in the Stanley Cup Finals years ago to win with a guy in the crease. Hang on. With a guy in the crease that the NHL had been wiping out those goals the whole year, and because everybody was on the ice and everything, they didn't review it. So calm down, Dallas fans. You won one on the opposite side, so let's just call them 50-50 at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a lot.
A lot of people were hoping to see, Boston and New York, but I don't think that Boston is as good a team as what we've got in there. The Florida Panthers playing.
I told you
they're a good team.
Didn't I tell you?
I'm rooting for them. I'm going for them, and I'm going for Edmonton. I like both those teams. You know, I think it'd be really. Dallas is great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but
when Dallas plays their defensive game and keeps the other team away from their net, and then they wait for that pickup and they go down the ice, they're that's the best. That's when they look the best. When they are doing this running around thing and they're trying to like play this open ice thing, it doesn't seem to work for them. But when they collapse in their zone and everybody takes a guy and keeps them out, they're real good one-on-one, and they create an opportunity and down they come and they score. I mean, that's just what I see. And, you know, I'm not watching every Dallas game, so I'm sure a bunch of Dallas people are going to
I guess, yeah. But I guess the big question tonight will be, will Connor McDavid show up? Because the games he showed up, they win. When he hasn't shown up, when he looks tired, they lose. So he's got to have a big game tonight. He's got to be the best player in the league tonight for them to advance.
Well, let me tell you, he's only got one other team to play against. So, you know, there's nobody else he's got to compete with. Just got to be the best guy tonight on his team and the other team.
That's right.
And he's definitely not a rookie anymore, so you can't say, oh, rookie jitters or come on. Got to get your team through it.
Yep, it's time to step it up and get it done. So this is what separates the players from the players. You know, if you show up, men from the boys, players from the players.
I'll go with that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you
spaghetti and tuna fish.
The real players from the players. Okay. There's a lot of players, but then there's the real players. So anyway,
all right, we'll talk about.
Got to get it done. Yeah. There you go. All right, man. I'm half exhausted from the weekend. I worked a lot of games this weekend. I'm beat, so I got to go skate tonight still. I don't normally skate on Monday nights, but I got 2 tonight, so thank you. I need it. Anyway.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, you guys have a great week. We will catch up with you in a couple weeks. We'll see you a week from Monday right here. And have a great start to your summer. Memorial Day weekend coming up. The official kickoff.
Wait. That isn't Memorial Day, right? No, that's the week after. Okay, never mind. We're good. Never mind.
Yeah, no, we're not on for Memorial
Monday.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd be cutting that show too. We'd take 2 weeks off.
Yeah, no. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all good. All right. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Go cheer for your team tonight. And we still got some great hockey left. Peace out. We'll see you from Chicago. Ref Room out.